All right, we're back with the Next Set podcast. I'm excited. I've got some great gentlemen with me today. Kolby Hall, like world-class motocross. Dude, we're so excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about what the world of motocross is, and like how do you do it? How did you get into it first?
Well, motocross is just kind of like racing dirt bikes, and I don't know. My dad raced dirt bikes when he was younger, and he got me on it when I was like 3 years old, and
3?
yeah, about 3 years old. Little, training bike thing, training wheels and everything. So, I've always been super pumped and always wanted to do it, and my dad finally let me do it a couple years ago and race, competitively and everything. So, super stoked and just trying to go as far as I can right now.
That's so funny. So, Jason's been working with you a lot in terms of like nutrition and supplements, and you're one of those sponsored athletes who could really go with anybody you want, like Monster, Red Bull, anybody. Jason, how did you get involved with Kolby?
Actually, I got to Kolby through his dad, Mike. Mike and I knew each other from the gym, and Mike had asked me some supplement questions, and so we had built a relationship over a few months. And then he mentioned that his son was doing these competitive races, and he was having issues with cramping and fatigue and tiring out. And so I said, hey, well, let's do this. And I introduced the stack to his dad, and his dad actually bought a stack for him first. He's like, oh, wow, okay, this works. Would it work for a teenager? I said, sure, it's low stim. There's nothing harmful in it. And so that's how the relationship sort of started. And then Kolby noticed some differences after the first month. He started noticing a little more endurance, a little quicker track times, and the relationships kind of budded from there and grown from that experience.
Wow, so you're at the top of your game basically right now. Tell us a little bit about how Next Set supplements have helped you just like notch it up a bit.
Well, for first, I don't get fatigued as easily anymore. I've noticed that. Especially
You're
when I'm
17. You don't get fatigued anyway, right?
Right.
Oh, whatever. No, I wish, but motocross is really, really physically demanding. It doesn't seem like it would be, but you're trying to control a 250-pound motorcycle, and it's going left and right and up and down, and so it's just a lot of like muscle. Your whole body's just kind of contracting, moving the whole time, and so when I'm taking compete throughout the whole motos and all throughout the day, it kind of like helps my muscles, kind of like the blood vessels flow better through my arms, and so they don't contract and then create arm pump in my body, so I can flow through the whole moto and not really get really tired.
Yeah, because
like
if you get tired, that could be life and death in some situations, right?
Yeah,
like
for
you're
sure.
going so fast. What's the average speed that you're going?
I'd say like 40 miles an hour. I'd say 40. My top speed, can reach up to like 55-ish. So, yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a little bit scary sometimes, but I never really get nervous anymore. I used to get kind of nervous when I get really tired, but just like with Next Set, I've been able to really, really feel safe and comfortable on the bike too, which is really important.
That is awesome.
He talks about fatigue
Yeah.
in his hands. Like he's trying to control a 250-pound machine with his hands, and they start to go. It must feel pretty nice to get your hands back. Feel like you can use them a little better.
Oh yeah.
Do you recover better? Do you find that when your muscles are stressed and strained a little bit, the next day do you find that you can work out easier, better?
Oh yeah, 100% better than what I've ever felt before. Starting with Next Set, I was actually at the sand dunes one time with some of my buddies, and I went over the bar so hard. I landed so short on this jump, and it hurt so bad and hurt my back. I hurt my back really bad. I could barely even like sit up straight in the car on the ride home, and I just took the repair. I've been taking it, for weeks and weeks before that, and so I woke up the next morning and I didn't even feel sore at all. Really woke up and I was like, wow, okay.
That's cool. So recently you have a concussion story, and you were taking some of the Next Set supplements. Concussions are a big deal because, especially at your age, like you don't want to damage that very precious thing called your brain. And we know that when anybody gets a concussion, they get instant oxidative damage, which means like oxygen can be really detrimental to your brain and to like helping that heal. the antioxidants are they're like nutrients that are in NXT that protect your organs, your tissues, your muscles, and your brain. Tell us about the incident that happened not so long ago with your concussion.
So this last incident is my 5th concussion, and we were just practicing at the track. It was really muddy, and I fell over a couple of times, 5 or 6 times, just in the turns. And they're not very high speed impacts; they're kind of low speed, so that you can get a concussion at low speed impact too. And so I ended up getting concussed and couldn't really think very well. I didn't even really know where I was. Driving home was really, I didn't even know that I was even at my house. And
Yeah,
so,
not a good thing, right?
Right.
And you're like, who am I? Where am I?
Exactly, yeah. Not a good feeling, really. But, yeah, I just took NXT, the brain chow and everything like that. And so while I was concussed, and I've been taking it every day before that, and so the next day I was better, and I just improvement for 3 days. And by the 3rd day, after the incident, I was already ready to go.
So were you cleared?
Yeah.
Medically cleared? That is
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, brains are really important, especially a growing brain for a 17-year-old. So how many races do you usually, or motos do you usually engage in a day? Like what would be average?
So the average kid probably races like 4 to 6 motos. But I race like about 9 to 10 motos a day.
That's unbelievable.
So-
That's incredible.
Yeah, and so what's crazy, so the thing that, it doesn't really sound like that much, but each moto is about 15 minutes long. And so, but for the 15 minutes, your heart rate's at like 195 usually.
You're like a downhill skier, just
Right.
like coming out of the chute, just all muscles.
Yeah, so
Tensed.
your heart rate's just going crazy, and you're just going, your whole body's just moving all the time. And so most kids can't really handle the physical strain on their bodies and stuff like that throughout the whole day. So they usually only do about 4 to 6, but I don't really get fatigued as much anymore, and so I'm able to do more.
What's the record? How many motos is the record in one day for somebody your age?
So max is 10. You can only do 10. 'Cause-
Really? And you've done that?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
like wiped out the next day or what?
No, actually, I'm ready to go for the next day. So usually you do, sometimes we'll have, like if it's a big event, then it'll be 2 days, so it'll be 10 motos one day and then 10 motos the second day, and I'm the same both days. Not really fatigued.
You're incredible.
Right.
So you're only 17. What are your plans? Like, what are your plans for your future? What do you want to accomplish with this athletic goal?
So right now, my big goal is to go to Loretta Lynn's. It's like a big national in Tennessee. It's the biggest national there is. It's like the biggest race before anybody goes pro. And so I've only been racing this is going to be my 3rd year full racing. I've been riding before that, but this is my 3rd year actually like racing dirt bikes competitively. And so I'm trying to do the impossible and go to Loretta's and win, beat everybody. And
So if we want to follow you, like where can we follow you? Where can we follow your journey to become a pro?
well, my Instagram is Kolby Hall _812. It's spelled with a K. It's really weird, but yeah,
Okay,
it's the first place. Just
High
check it out.
school girls, are you listening? Colby's a cutie.
Oh yeah.
What are some things you do nutritionally? Like, do you eat differently than most kids your age, do you think?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't eat a lot of fast foods anymore. I try to keep my diet pretty evenly spaced with proteins, vegetables, carbs, dairy, things like that. So usually I plan my meals out with my mom and dad, and she usually makes me a really good meal, homemade meals usually, and so.
So you're eating like a pro, basically.
Yeah, trying to be. As
Do you
healthy
like
as I
the
can.
junk food? Is it easy to stay away, or are you just like,
So-
what's up?
It's weird. I used to love it. Donuts, ice cream, cookies, but for some reason now I'm just not even attracted to it anymore.
You're
Bad
really,
results?
Yeah, you're really focused on what you want to do and how you want to do it.
Right.
What happens when you go pro? Like, what's a schedule like that for somebody?
If someone were to go pro, it would just be basically the same thing that I'm doing right now. Just gym every single day, track every single day. That's basically it. Race on the weekends. Just full commitment on the races.
Just full-time job.
One big
Basically.
difference, you get paid.
Yeah, but-
Right. You do get paid when you go
You're
pro.
this close to getting paid for what you love to do and what you're really good at. That's
Right.
incredible. we are really excited to have you as one of our athletes here at Next Set. I think your example of just like who you are as a person, who you are as an athlete, like your drive, your determination, your ability to be a good example to other people, whether they're kids or adults. Like, we really appreciate that. Thank you
thanks
so much.
Thank you.
So we also have Johnny here. Johnny is one of our team members, and Johnny is amazing. He is one of the advocates for Revive.
Big fan.
Big fan of Revive, and I'm going to ask you what makes Revive so important to you?
Well, if you understand a little bit about what Revive is, it just at the core level, it just helps you improve your thinking, and I enjoy my thinker and being able to think well. So
what do you do for, like, what's your background? Like, why do you need your brain? What do you do on a regular basis that requires all that brain activity, Johnny?
Probably the most important thing I am is a dad.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And it just helps me just process better, think quicker, be more present. And to be more present is something I'm really trying to work on. So this is an amazing product to help me do that.
Very cool. You've been in touch with a lot of people who have been really impacted by using Revive. Not naming names, can you maybe share with us like one of the most impactful examples of how Revive has helped somebody that you've been in contact with?
Ooh, there are so many stories. So many. And typically the big events that you remember is when an individual runs out of their product. And I'm talking about people in maybe the military community that have been through a lot and, maybe need a little assistance, thinking more clearly. But when they're out of it and they need it, and just to see them in their face, you can physically see them asking for it and needing it. And when they get it, you can also see them improve. I won't name names, but that kind of scenario has played out many times. And
you're a really key player on our team, and you really reach out to those vets, especially the vets who really need Revive to revive their brain to recover, and you get to see these stories up close and personal.
And you know my background a little bit. Like, I feel like I've been through some of the stuff as well, and so like I enjoy bringing the product to these guys, and I enjoy being there to deliver it.
What do you like about the Next Set team or working with Next Set in general? Like, what can you tell our listeners about the behind-the-scenes Next Set team?
It's just it's not normal to respect everyone that you work with. And so I really enjoy that aspect of it. But you guys each are such examples in very specific ways. Jason's just giant in every way, in personality and everything he does, and in his success. Really excited about that. You're my favorite. You're my hippie.
Well, you're my favorite.
Yeah.
We have a mutual love for each other, Johnny and I.
And then Pete and Pat, they're just the technicians. They get it done.
They get it
They're
done,
the
don't they?
surgeons. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a really unique team. Everybody's focused on doing what we set out to do, and that's help people. And, like Kolby, having you here is really important because you're one of those faces of people who are, like, you're seeing the results of, like, good product development or, like, the intention that we had putting all of these products out there. Have you used Revive?
Oh yeah, I use it all the time.
What do you feel when you take it? Like, it's not a stimulant. It has no stimulants in it. It's basically brain food. Like, how can you tell the difference when you're taking it versus not taking it?
So I take it every day, and sometimes I'll like miss a day or two and something, stuff like that. But like, honestly, it really helps me focus on like one thing, like one important thing, right? So when I'm coming up for a race or I'm trying to go practice, there's like so many distractions, so many things that are going through your head all at one time. Like, am I gonna get hurt today? Am I gonna crash and break my arm? But it really helps me focus on like what I need to do in the moment, what I need to do in this turn, what I need to do in turn 3, and so it really helps me kind of like put all the pieces together to actually finish up my whole moto.
That's so cool. It's really protective too. It's protective of your brain, especially because you're not done growing, and as your brain grows, you need those nutrients that are in Revive. Like we were saying the other day, 92% of Americans don't get the necessary, like absolutely necessary ingredients that are actually in Revive. it used to be that we could rely on our food system to make sure we got those all. But in the case of Revive, we're like putting back in what's supposed to be there anyway. So, that's a great example of like how Revive helps you think clearly, focus. We hear that a lot, don't we, Johnny? How do people describe using Revive? Because it's no stim. Like little kids can use it. 90-year-olds can use it. It's safe for everybody.
I think they kind of describe it as Kolby did. Like they're just able to compartmentalize and complete a task. They'll finish a thought rather than let it loop and spin out on something. And something where he's in such a quick moving, structured race where he's like literally just calculating his next moves over and over and over. Like that's, if you can improve that.
Yeah. So clarity. Would you say people
absolutely.
do you feel more clear when you're taking it?
Oh yeah.
More like focused. How about mood? A lot of people say that they're more calm. They don't have as much anxiety, or they're not so like reactive to what other people are doing around them. Do you feel that?
Right. Yeah, I do believe that's true. And I mean, I haven't really gotten nervous, or I don't get really angry very easily, and more calm just coming around people. I'm really always happy, honestly.
You're pretty chill.
Maybe it's because you're a boss and you just feel pretty good about what you do, huh?
Yeah,
No,
you're pretty amazing. So Jason, tell us what your goals for some of these athletes and vets using the products. What are your goals? What do you want to see in the future? How many people do you want to have access to this stuff?
Ooh, that's a great question, and it's a big question. Let me tackle the veterans first. What I envision is to help as many of these veterans who suffer from symptoms of PTSD, such as anger, depression, anxieties, brain fog, unclear thoughts, to help them return to a quote-unquote normal existence. And we understand that the new normal post-deployment is different than the normal pre-deployment. But to give them hope, to give them some sort of something to grab onto to say, hey, I can function. I can deal with these issues. I can be a father. I can be a husband. I can be a productive member in society because of these supplements. Obviously, the goal is to get it into as many hands of the veterans as possible to try and help as many of them as we can. That's kind of a 33,000 foot view of it, but that's really the end goal is to try and help as many veterans as we can have quote unquote a normal existence. As far as the rest of the world, like the Kolbys and our other athletes, we want to help them achieve their goals. And if it is being able to focus better in a moto, then great. Kolby has been climbing the ranks since he's been taking NXT SET. I'm going to brag on him a little bit because he won't. He just did a couple of weeks ago a 10 race moto, and he ended up second overall.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're seeing the fruits of his hard work and the supplements. So that again is our goal here at NXT SET, is to help people achieve their dreams. If it's they can work out a little bit longer, they can focus a little bit better, and they can do an extra set, or they can win an extra race, I can think of nothing better.
Show up for your kids.
You show up.
Amen.
For your kids.
If and I don't say this flippantly, but if the only quote unquote thing that we do is help somebody be a better father,
right,
a better husband, a better community member, it's a win. Flat out, it's a win for us.
It's pretty cool if we can help you win races too.
And we're counting on it. We are really rooting for you, and we have all the confidence in the world in you becoming a pro, because you're an amazing kid. You're driven. You've got goals. You're taking care of yourself, like physically, nutritionally, mentally, emotionally. So you've got a whole NXT SET team behind you, and we really thank you for coming in, Kolby.
Yeah, thanks
buddy.
so much.
Welcome to the team, and you're pushing a product that we really, 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 really love. And a lot of military guys, something, this is kind of off topic, but concussions. You just went through a huge thing with concussions. It's a major conversation in the veteran world. So that's something you have in common with veterans.
Dang.
So that's kind of cool.
You
That
call
is
it
pretty cool.
concussions, they call it TBI, traumatic brain injuries,
Mhm.
but damage to the brain is damage to the brain. And, your story of recovering from being concussed that quickly is a testament to not only the supplements, but to your commitment to your health. And we're trying to get the military to adopt that same sort of mindset. And we are seeing results and positive steps forward. But, like Johnny said, TBIs or concussions in the military is a huge issue, which is the precursors to the dementia and to the anxiety and to the depression. So if we can slow that down or curb that's a positive step.
Yeah, definitely take care of that brain of yours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And once again, if people want to follow you, it's Kolby Hall _
812.
812. What does the 812 mean?
That's my race number.
We'll follow you, and we hope that our listeners will follow you too. Best of luck to you. Thanks again for coming in, guys.
Hey, thank you.